And someone who we can welcome to the first time here at our church, is Miss Lexie Hull. Folks, can you just welcome Lexie?
Lexie Hull just dropped some truth, and she did it from a place you'd never expect a local church in Indiana sitting down for what turned into one of the realest conversations of her career. This wasn't just another interview, this was personal, unfiltered, and full of unexpected fire.
So excited that you are here, and obviously you are someone who is at the center of so much of our community pride. We are loving what is happening in the Fever in terms of success and just excitement around the city.
After a breakout season with the Indiana Fever and a championship run in Miami, with the Rose Basketball Club at unrivaled Lexie returned to Indianapolis with a story to tell about pressure, patience, and the truth behind life as a rising star in the WNBA. No scripted answers, no media gloss, just Lexie front and center, saying everything out loud that most athletes only think in private. So what did she reveal about the Indiana Fever, and why is her mindset turning heads before the new season? Even tips off, stick around because Lexie Hull didn't hold back, and this time it's not just about basketball.
I think the Pacers is a great experience. I think right now the Fever is a better experience. And anyone just been to a Fever game and you're like, man, that's great basketball. And I think what you girls are doing is great. And shout out to the Pacers. I know some of you are in the room working here thinking, hey, that's my...
Before Lexie Hull even said a word, the vibe was electric. Sitting across from Pastor CJ at Northview Church, it didn't take long for the crowd to realize this wasn't your average Sunday guest. And then came the praise, how Lexie, through both her play and her presence, had become a centerpiece of community pride.
Tell me about the journey. Spokane, Washington, then to Stanford, national championship, and then drafted to the Fever, teamed up with Caitlin Clark, and now it's like overnight you go from ordinary girl just living passionately, pursuing a dream, to now I'm famous and most of my interactions moving forward.
But it wasn't all serious, far from it. Pastor CJ couldn't help but poke a little fun at Lexie's growing celebrity. Lexie smiled a little bashful, but clearly enjoying the moment. She tried to shrug it off, but the truth was obvious. In Indiana, Lexie Hull has arrived.
I would say in the Hoosier state, just know anywhere you go around here, girl, you're famous.
Well, thank you.
Folks, is that fair? You are going to have to hide for someone in this state not to be like, hey, Lexie Hull's right there. So
you're fun.
The banter had everyone laughing, but underneath it all was something deeper: respect. This wasn't just about fame or highlight reels. It was about how Lexie's story, her work ethic, and her heart had captured a city's attention, and it set the perfect tone for everything she was about to share.
Tell me, just what has the transition to Indiana been like?
It's been awesome, and I think, I moved here 3.5 years ago when I got drafted in 2022, and I think the first thing I noticed was the community just welcomes me and welcomes the Indiana Fever, everyone that comes in with open arms. So we're really grateful to be here, and as I've been here for 3 years, I mean, it's just incredible to see the growth and the growth of the support of our team over the course of the few years. And watching this video, I mean, it makes me so excited to be back in Cambridge this season, right around the corner. So it's been awesome.
Lexie Hull's move to Indiana wasn't just a career shift, it was a leap into the unknown. Drafted in 2022, she landed in a new city far from home and immediately felt something different: welcome. And as the seasons rolled on, that connection only deepened. It makes me so excited to be back in Cambridge, she added, already fired up for the new season.
Talk to me just about, how would you summarize some of that journey?
It's been a journey. I think that's a really just perfect word for it. Being at Stanford, being there for 4 years, my best 4 years, I would say, of my life. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Coming here, first time being away from family, first time playing basketball without my twin sister, so that in itself was the transition. And then also, first year, my rookie year, we won 5 games. Lost more games than I'd have in my entire life. So then you add in being alone with losses. It was really challenging.
But getting to this point that was anything but easy, Lexie called it, but it was a journey from 4 unforgettable years at Stanford, where she won a national championship and played every game alongside her twin sister, to stepping into the pros without family by her side. Everything changed her rookie year with the Fever was rough. We won 5 games. She said bluntly, more losses than she ever experienced in her entire life, stacked into one season, 2 head coaches, constant movement, no rhythm for a moment. She lost the joy we all now know and love about.
Playing in multiple places, had 2 different head coaches. That whole year was just like, what am I doing? Like, this is not that fun. Now to last year, just the growth of it is insane. And I wouldn't have expected it. It's so awesome because it's been such a journey. And to play in sold out arenas across the country, to see people with my number on their chest, I mean, it's just surreal. So I'm just really grateful for the opportunity.
But she didn't run from it, she grew through it. Fast forward to 2024, and Lexie Hull's narrative flipped. Completely sold out arenas, her name on fans' jerseys, playoff basketball, a breakout season with Indiana, and of course, a rookie named Caitlin Clark, who eventually became her best friend. That changes everything. She didn't just survive the grind, she owned it. It's surreal, she said, and it's clear this version of Lexie, she's built from the hard stuff.
We became Lexie Hull fans in 2019. Anyone pick Stanford to win the girls tournament in 2019? Yeah, you didn't, I didn't. Someone in our house did, and that was my wife, Kristen, which...
Love you, Kristen.
Yes. And what was funny about it is many of you know my wife, Kristen, is from Iowa, played college basketball, comes from a family of athletes, multiple Hawkeye athletes. So we wear black and yellow all over the place. And so for her to pick Stanford over Iowa when Caitlin was playing for Iowa, and her side of the family, that was like blasphemy.
Lexie Hull's rise to prominence didn't just earn her respect, it sparked admiration in places she never expected, from families who once cheered against her to young players now looking up to her as a role model. Lexie's impact was undeniable. Even the pastor's wife, a proud Iowa native, once rooted for Stanford because of Lexie, and her sister. That's the level of influence she's carrying now, shifting loyalties, inspiring the next generation, and turning admiration into legacy.
Our kids were like, how are you going to pick Stanford over? And it was because, one, she liked you and your sister.
Oh.
And Kristen is a trash talker, and don't judge her for this statement, but when you're talking trash in the heat of competitions, you sometimes say things. And she goes, one day we're watching one of your games, and you guys do something, and she's like, bam, pretty girls can hoop too. And I loved it. And that was her bias initially, and now it's funny because our daughter Riley, we were talking about, looks up to you in terms of play, and so sometimes you'll hear someone say, hey, play like Lexie Hull, right? So you are just highly admired in our household.
Behind the highlights and hype, Lexie Hull's journey has been anything but effortless. As her visibility skyrocketed, so did the pressure from fans, from critics, and most painfully from within that early belief. We're all taught work hard, and the results will come starts to waver when you hit the pros. Suddenly progress isn't linear, results aren't instant, and that's where Lexie has learned her hardest and most valuable lesson. Patience isn't weakness, it's power.
What has been the journey and experience in terms of pressure? I mean, that's got to be insurmountable. You start to commit to disciplines, habits, routines. You sacrifice a ton. Mm-hmm. There's a burden that comes with your blessing, right? Talk to me about navigating pressure.
It's a big part of the game. And I think, when you're playing early on, you can say that work ethic will get you everything that you want. And there's very much truth to that. But then there's also a piece when you get to this level that mental toughness is an even bigger piece.
What most people don't see is how quickly the game shifts off the court. One quiet night, one missed shot, and the feedback is immediate and ruthless. Every performance lives online. Every moment replayed. The weight of expectations can feel suffocating, but Lex has learned that not every season is about success. You can see some seasons are about roots growing underground, quietly, steadily, with no applause, and that growth takes time.
Because you have people from everywhere commenting on your success and your failures and whether you belong, whether you don't. And so I think you have to believe that you are enough, and you are loved, and everything that you do, your sport doesn't define you. And I think that's something that you learn as you get into this job, is that the season will go up and down, and just to maintain strong, and everything works out exactly how it should, and you have patience in that process, in that journey. And I think that's just something that, as a rookie, you just want to go in and you want to do really, really well. And that's not that easy. And it's a big jump in the level of the play and level of the game. And I think you just have to keep putting in the work and keep working hard, and eventually, things work out exactly how they were supposed to. So just trusting that process.
Yeah, and the fact that you live instantly scrutinized and with instant feedback and commentary that comes with no filter.
Instant, yeah.
We've really accelerated in some areas in terms of culture. For most of us, we will never experience that type of pressure.
Yeah, I think it's so hard because we're our worst critic already. And then you go online and a lot of times people are almost as mean. And it's insane because all we're doing is try to put out the best product that we can. And sometimes it's not as good as you expect. So I think just giving everybody grace and I mean, we're doing our best, and sometimes you're gonna love it and we'll hear it, and then sometimes we don't, and maybe we don't need to hear it. But yeah, it's hard. And I think that that's definitely part of the job that you don't really think about, but
I think you learn, I would guess, that the critical necessity of attaching the right weight to the right words. Right? When you understand that most words you hear are empty, shallow words. That's not to say you live with some jaded view of humanity. It's just to say, no, trust is a real necessity in my life. Who are the people who I am going to give access, am going to give authority to say, no, you can coach me, correct me, speaking, because you still need that as someone who's going to pursue elite goals. It's like, okay, how do you safeguard unhealthy pressure, but then how do you facilitate a productive pressure?
I think I got advice once that I think is really important, and it was only take opinions from people you would take advice from. And if I wouldn't take advice from a lot of the people online that are saying the negative things, so it's hard, but try not to listen or read them or think that they mean anything, because really they don't. You don't care what they have to say if they were giving me good advice or bad advice, so I shouldn't listen to the opinions of them either.
Obviously, you can't be where you're at if you're not a principled person. It takes a great deal of devotion to say, all right, I'm pursuing a measure of excellence. That's pretty daunting. What would be the driving principle in this season for you, where it's like, this is the mindset I'm trying to develop in this season?
I think just being patient. I think that's, throughout my career, that's kind of been the thing that I've really trying to get better at, and it's something you can always get better at because you want something now. You want something in the moment, in the season that you're in.